Guys, so this time we're going to be talking about motivation. Now, I want to give my personal views on this, but before we do, I do want to take a minute to analyze something, which is going to be something quick to think about before we dive fully into the video. It's an opinion post related to the user Josh, which is of course at Joshua James. You can see the username on your screen here. It's of course a Twitter user who does actually speak a lot about the whole issue regarding AMC. Anyway, he has posted this 18 hours ago. The first piece says, talking investments with one of his friends who is listed here, and he asked what, of course, Josh thinks of AMC. And here is what he said. So Josh goes on to say, I know where shorts are stuck. They shorted over 50% of shares in the 2 to 9 range. They want it back there, and it may never be there again. They bet it would fall. It didn't. It's a matter of time, and people knowing that holding the stock for however long, and of course they're betting on impatience. Now these figures are, in my opinion, based on Josh's personal belief. We shouldn't read too much into the figures, of course, but the whole message is something which I do kind of agree with to an extent, and this does tie in very nicely with where I want to start the video. So that's the reason why I point it out. Again, massive shout out to the user, but yeah, we're going to dive in now. So if you do enjoy this, make sure to smash a like and subscribe, but as usual, remember, it is only opinion and not financial advice. So I want to go and talk about motivation, because that's a big thing here with AMC. Now, I know we've spoken about this before, but I want to go into some detail on it right now. I've said it before, when it comes to tactics, there are a lot of them. We need to be prepared for everything. I think a big tactic that we're seeing is, for instance, based on price, and I think Josh does go on to list something very good. I mean, when we come on to have a look at the data for calls with AMC, continuously we see these call figures. Of course, we're not going to look at them in detail, but we see these call figures, a lot of them are expiring out of the money because people buy calls at ridiculous prices, and they have been doing so for a long time. Now, buying calls on AMC or anything of the sort, in my opinion, is going to be high risk, and of course, I am not a financial advisor. If that's what you want to do, please do it. If you don't want to do it, of course, please do not. Make your own minds up on it. It's your choice. But in my opinion, buying things like calls is quite risky because we just do not know. A lot of the time it does anticipate on AMC being at a set price at a set time, and the possibility of that happening, statistically, it is lower than it is likely. And I'm not saying that the MOS is not going to happen. Of course, I do think it is going to happen. But all I'm going to say, guys, is I own my shares as shares. I put my money that I want to put into AMC in shares. I do not buy anything like options. I do not, in my country, buy CFD because that's something that we can do. I don't do any kind of leverage betting on AMC because, for me, I think it is too high risk. There are some great stocks out there which we could do, options on potentially CFDs or other leverage ways of trading, but I think for AMC and my approach, it's just not something which I am interested in. I'm more interested in holding shares because, of course, it does over time deplete our funds if we lose money betting on AMC in the short term. That's just a way that they see it, and I think it is another way they're trying to demotivate us by draining our funds, slowly, in a way that we don't necessarily feel it immediately, but it does add up over time, and of course they can claw back those losses potentially in ways like that as well. But coming back into the actual motivation of it, it's about being sensible, it's about being smart and understanding what we are here for. Now, in the whole GME situation, I know a lot of people think this one happened pretty quickly, and a lot of people are thinking, well, GME happened on this date, why is AMC taking so long? But a lot of stuff did happen behind the scenes before GME actually did see that massive spike up in price. And when we tie that back into AMC, we really haven't been holding that long in relation. And let's think about it, right? I'm not going to put a price target on where AMC can go. Maybe it can go above 1,000, maybe it can go above 10,000, maybe it can't. But what I am going to say is, you guys, most of you will have been here for the 70 spike where we went all the way up there. A lot of you guys will see how much money came into your account. Now just imagine if AMC went to 200, 300, let alone 1,000 or above. Imagine how much you would have in your account. Then you have to ask yourself, will you hold for a year from now to get that money? For me, I personally would. Again, you guys may have a different opinion, but that is going to be ultimately for you to decide. What I'm trying to say here, though, is at the end of the day, this is a mid to long game. We all expected it to be over by now, but inevitably it isn't. And the reason for that is because they don't want to give up that money. Yes, we know that they're in a messy position, but it doesn't mean that they're going to try and get out of it by paying us. That's what they want to do last. It's not their first option. It's not an option that they even want to consider. It's all about trying to get us to tire. And the thing about us as apes, as investors, a lot of us have put 50% or more, some of us 100% of our portfolios into AMC. So for us, a lot of our holdings, maybe even all of our holdings, are AMC shares. And if that's the case, we're not seeing gains, we're not seeing profits from any other stocks. And of course, it does become monotonous. Now, does it matter? No, a lot of people are holding. I personally am. It is getting boring, but I'm not bothered. I will continue to hold for as long as it takes. Because at the end of the day, going back to the initial point that I made, yes, I would hold for a long time because I know what they're into. Now, as I've said, retail often gets bored, whereas the big institutions don't because they have a lot of different holdings, and AMC may only be a small percentage of them. And of course, retail have other ways of trading, such as computers and other algorithms which basically take emotions out of their game. So, the emotional impact that we have here as apes is not necessarily the same as they have as retail investors. So be aware of that. Now, does it matter? No. I think if we are into the AMC movement as we wish to be, we need to treat ourselves more like computers ourselves. We need to take the emotions out and look at the statistics. And if you have been doing your research properly, you'll know where the statistics on AMC lie, and you will know who is looking to be in the best position. Now, of course, like I said, this is not advice, it's just my personal interpretation. But do remember what they are trying to do, and do remember what you are fighting for. Yes, it may take some time, but then you have to ask yourself, what are the gains which I expect to see, and is it worth holding for? Now for me, I think it is. It's just my personal interpretation. Again, you guys make your own opinions up, but that is just the way that I see it. So do be aware of what's going on. As always, guys, I'll be back with you later for more stuff though, so if you can join us for that, please do. But for now, guys, goodbye. So thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.